Welcome to the Lone Ranger Radio Show. You got Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Yes, I am the Lone Ranger, and I appreciate you joining me. What a beautiful weekend. You can listen to me on The Bone down in Tampa, or you can listen to me on WDBO out of Orlando. So my reach, if you are checking this show out and you're listening to me on AM, then you know there's FM HD options and it gets a longer reach. And some of you may even stream this show, and that way you can get it anywhere you want to listen to me. You can also go to my podcast on iHeartRadio or Spotify, or you can go to my YouTube channel and watch almost every segment that I have and the interviews that I do with folks out there. Listen, we got a lot to catch up on because there's a lot of activity in the market right now. And what are interest rates doing? As you know, I'm an interest rate geek. I watch the market all the time. Now, listen, I got money in the market in stocks, just like you probably do 401k investments, stock investments. So I watch that. But for you, that has no bearing on what I do. I watch the bond market so that I can tell my clients when to lock a rate and when they should float. Now, sometimes they don't have an option for that. For in other words, if you're closing in 15 days on a purchase, you don't have time to float it out for another 45 days because you're in a contract. But for a refinance, I told you guys, get on my VIP watch list for refinances. And so many of you did. Like almost 500 people are on my watch list. Now, many of you, I'm in the process of refinancing right now. Like we are doing it right now because the time is right and you're saving the money. If you're looking for debt consolidation because you just accumulated a lot of debt, get on my list, get your application made now. But for those of you that were waiting for rates to drop, now's the time to get the application made. So if you're on my list or if you're not on my list, here's what I do. First of all, I am not going to hound dog you like all these other lenders are out there right now going, I can save you money. We can save you $300. We can save you $200. We can drop your interest rate. We don't charge any closing costs up front. We can all do that. Everybody can do that. The thing is that they just want to do it for you right now. I am different. Maybe it's not a good business philosophy for me, but I don't care. I would rather position you so that we can look at what rate do you need to best save the most amount of money that's realistic. Because some of you may call up and go, hey, man, I need a 4.5% rate in order for it to be worth me refinancing. I can tag that for you, and my system will alert me when it gets to that point. The thing is, it's probably never going to get to that point. So are you just not going to refinance? Good. Then don't refinance. However, if you're in the sevens or in the high sixes, you got to get your application made right now. And I'm going to tell you one thing. The lenders that are out there have become extremely predatory. And I don't like it for my industry, but I can't control my competitors. I can control my actions and I can control what I do for you. So get your application made. Then I analyze it. We create a strike point. So even though I put your whole application together, we're going to do everything but order an appraisal. And we're only going to do a soft credit pull, not a hard credit pull. So we're positioned. Then we have to determine, is that value that we're using a realistic value that you could at your house would actually appraise for? What does realtor.com say? What does Zillow say? Are they accurate? Do you agree with them? Then we determine based on that value, you're going to need an interest rate of XYZ in order for it to truly benefit you. And you may say, that saves me 300. I won't do it unless I save 350. We look at that and go, yeah, in order for you to save 350 and not 300, rates will have to drop to say 4.75. Is that realistic? Probably not. Probably not. I bet you at best by March, if we could settle in the mid fives for conventional loans, you would be very lucky. Very, very lucky. I don't see that happening. Listen, we got two more rate cuts this year. Now, let's talk about what happened after the rate cut. Now, you go to my podcast, you can see a screen share, and I can show you what the bond market has done. And I'm going to tell you something. You are going to be impressed because it did exactly what I told you could potentially happen. And they got worse. So interest rates today are slightly higher than what they were before the Fed cut the last Fed cut by almost 40 basis points. Now, 40 basis points cost you $400 per 100,000. Okay? Not horrible, but it's definitely higher. So, is that nothing? No. Is it a huge drop? No. It's not, but it is something. So I position my clients so that we have a strike rate. I know what that rate needs to be for you to benefit. Now, if you say I could save $300 if we got to 5.5, but I need $400 at 499. Okay, so you don't want to save 300 then? Okay, don't save 300. Now, a lot of folks want to know, is it worth it? Because you don't have to come out of pocket with money in many cases, but you still might have to closing costs added to the transaction. So if that is the case, is it worth it for you to do that? Is it truly worth it for you to refinance by adding? So a lot of people look at that and go, oh my God, I talked to a lender and they added $15,000. Yeah, but that's because you're closing in November and they just had to charge you for all these new escrows that you're going to be collecting for your taxes that are due. So that's not a realistic number. What's realistic? How much are the closing costs, not the escrows? How much how much did that add to your mortgage? If you can't break even in less than 36 months, don't do it. Don't do it. There's me again, the worst businessman in the entire planet telling his clients, don't do it. I'm the only lender doing that. Call me now. 813-213-4009. That's 813-213-4009. Orlando 407-706-3313. Write that number down, please. 407-706-3313. Get your application started right now at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. Let's look at it. Let's analyze it. Let's determine whether now is the right time. Should you continue to wait? Now, if rates got worse since the Fed cut the Fed rate, does that mean we need to wait it out and see what happens next? I tell you when to lock. I told every one of you, don't wait for the Fed to cut the Fed rate. You know what you did? You waited for the Fed to cut their Fed rate. You didn't listen to the loan arranger. You did what you thought was smart, but you don't understand how the bond market works. And when the Fed cut the Fed rate, it rallied the stock market, it pulled energy out of bonds, and mortgage rates got worse to the tune of 48 basis points. Again, not the end of the world because we gained almost 100 basis points leading up to the Fed cut. And I told you rates get better before a Fed cut, not after. But no, people don't hear that. They still go, oh no, they're going to drop the rate a quarter point. Rates are going to get better by a quarter point. That is incorrect. Absolutely 100% incorrect. Now, is there a guarantee that rates are going to go up after a Fed cut? No, I'm not telling you that they are, but I'm telling you that most of the time they do. All you got to do is go back and look at last September of 2024 when they dropped it 50 basis points. The market literally went to hell in a handbasket on the bonds. It did well for your stocks, tanked the bond market. Why would interest rates go up almost a full point from where they were before that first Fed cut. Then they started to get better. Then the Fed cut it in November. They got worse. Then they started to get better. Then the Fed cut it in December. They got worse. Now, our last cut, a quarter point. We gained almost 100 basis points. Rates dropped considerably. They were running in the mid sixes, low sixes. And then the Fed does another Fed cut and they pop back up again. So stop listening to the average news. It's not correct. It's BS. It's fake news. It's fake news. I will show you the charts. You can read them. I got nothing to sell you. Matter of fact, you get on a Zoom call with me. We go over interest rates, we go over options, and we look at my competitors. You want to look at Bank of America? You want to look at Chase? You want to look at Citibank? You want to look at Goldman Sachs? You want to look at Rocket Mortgage? I'll show you their rates and compare to mine. I guarantee you Rocket Mortgage ain't going to pull up the Lone Ranger's rates to compare it. Why? Because I'm better. Veterans, you guys are getting duped by Veterans United and USAA. Why? Because you've been brainwashed to think that's the place to go for VA loans. They are an insurance company. They're an insurance company. Read between the lines, veterans. It's not the place to go. Insurance companies are the scammers. They are the ones that are scamming all of us. And yet you think because they do mortgages too, that they're the best rate option. Oh my God. Give your head a shake. Stop this. It's madness. My name's Bruce Woodburn. I'm the Lone Ranger. And I'm getting worked up about this. And why? Because you need somebody on your side. And if you don't trust me, then go find somebody else. But if you want somebody that's going to be brutally honest with you and tell you when you're making a mistake and tell you not to do it now or to wait or to do it now and don't wait, I'm the guy that's going to do that. You won't find many people that'll do that. Why? Because I'm old and I just want you to benefit. I've already got all the money I need. I can retire now. I'm done. I can retire now. I'm doing this for you so that you have somebody in my organization, in my business that you can count on. And then you still call me and argue with me about it. It's insanity, but I'm here to help you. And if you want my advice, I'm here to give it to you. You can call me directly, 813-213-4009, or Orlando at 407-706-3313. Get your application made right now at WeBringYouHome.com. So I want to take a break. And when we come back, I want to talk about what this market does for buyers and what it does for sellers. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009 or WeBringYouHome.com. Don't go anywhere.